Good evening, Happy New Year. Welcome to January 2018, our first team call of the year.
Good evening, everyone.
Hope you all had a lovely break. Today's the last day of the frankincense deal, and you won't be seeing that until next December. So if there is anyone that's, on the edge, then you've got a few hours.
Or if you guys haven't done it, get off this call. You can do this. You can do them both together.
Yes. So we've got lots of announcements first.
Yes, so we've got some announcements. So lots of you are wondering about On Guard. Lisa has just made an announcement on Facebook that the On Guard will be back in stock beginning of next week. It doesn't affect family essential kits, but because they come in the 5ml bottles and they're already in the kits already. But it's the 15ml On Guards that have been out of stock. I don't know if it was a big problem in the UK because they did have a bit of stock in the UK with them. So it was mainly in Europe they didn't have stock, but they did have to turn it off. So if you want to buy some On Guard, then you can buy some. As of next week, it'll be turned on.
If anyone does order On Guard and it doesn't come, though, they'll get the On Guard beadlets, which I'm sure you're all aware, but just to make sure you absolutely are aware. So you get On Guard beadlets instead and 50 PV. So if anyone that enrolls with the Home Essentials kit and hasn't got the On Guard, then that's what they'll get. So the 50 PV is a brilliant deal because they can then buy the On Guard when it comes back in stock and still have points left over. So that's a really good point just to tell people.
Yeah, so right now you can't actually order On Guard on its own, but you can buy the Home Essential kits. But they're substituting the beadlets and 50 PV. And I think On Guard is 37.5 PV. So that means you're left over with 13 PV or 12.5 PV at the end of that. So and some beadlets. So it's a good deal.
Yeah.
We just went to the Diamond Summit, which was great. You saw us we did a team call. Actually, we jumped on Emily's and Tim's team call and did that with them. But we announced a couple of these things, but we just wanted to reiterate it. VAT, there's two parts to this. Two parts to VAT is that some products will be either exempt or they'll be reduced VAT prices, which means basically that they'll be cheaper for the end customers.
Brilliant.
Not definite, but fingers crossed with lots of the products, which is amazing. Okay, so we can't guarantee it. I wouldn't tell your customers yet because you don't know it. Hopefully, Lifelong Vitality will be classed as a food supplement, but we don't know. So that's what they're going for. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, so as Nathan said, just this is for your information at this point. Let's just wait to see when it happens and exactly what happens. Then you can start telling people. But at this point, don't make any announcements in your classes or anything, and certainly not to customers.
Just in case some stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And also VAT, in the States, they like to not have VAT or whatever they call it, sales tax, not included in anything they do. That's a cultural thing. Over here in the UK particularly, we love everything included. And that's how it works. So as of the 1st of April, it will all be included on the website, which is great. So you're not getting this massive 20% lumped on at the end. Warehouse should be all up to date by I think Lisa announced sometime at the next week, but they announced at the Diamond Summit. If we allow to the end of January, they should all be up to date. I think they're up to orders now up to the 9th of January, so they're getting there. And doTERRA have capacity now. It's doubled as of now. So what we did in December, they could double it this month and we'd be fine. But we have a capacity to triple it this year, so that's great. Okay.
And just to put your mind at rest with that, like they really did put our mind at rest. I know we said it on Emily and Tim's call the other day, but they're really on top of this. So they are ahead of the game. And now because of the new warehouse, and they said they can triple it, but they can expand as we expand. So they'll just keep adding new lines to the warehouse. Yeah. So as big as we get, they can grow now. What was the problem before is they had this tiny warehouse. They couldn't employ any more people because they just couldn't fit them in physically. Whereas now it's like you can expand to however big we need it to be. So it will just grow with us. So we shouldn't have the problem we had in December ever again.
And
so,
it's also a much faster picking system. It's very clever and sophisticated. So it's cool.
So that's good.
The Empower brochure. I don't think I put a slide in for that actually.
That's fine. So the Empower brochure, basically at the summit, we got told about this new pack that's coming. And for anyone that went to America last year, basically the leaders, the Presidential Diamonds, some of the Presidential Diamonds in America came together and have put together this kind of business program for new builders. So like a brochure that gives some basic information about building, but also, kind of an updated living guide that you can share with customers and use in your wellness consultations, but certainly a brochure that can be used for new builders. And also a brochure that you can have when you're selling the kits as well, so you can use them in your classes. So basically some resources to help build your business. There's been so many different ones up till now, but the top leaders have come together and produced one. So that will be, they're saying we should get it by the 1st of April in 15 different languages, which is really exciting. So there'll be the main key languages across Europe. As well, and it will also have the currencies of the country as well. So that's what's really exciting, I think, because we're always having to convert from dollars to pounds or euros. So that will all be there for us. But again, please don't announce this to anyone. This is just a heads up for you guys. But let's just wait and see. We've been told April, but yeah, we'll keep you updated when any updates that we know.
Mm-hmm. There's the incentive trip to Sicily, which we'll talk about at the end, because we need to go in that in a bit more detail.
Okay, sorry, I'm just checking the chat.
Can't see. We also have the leadership retreats coming up in America. And for those that are silver and above, you have to be silver and above to qualify to go to them. I really recommend them. I went last year. It was great. I preferred it to convention, and the US convention was brilliant as well. So, but it's for people doing the business. So I really enjoyed that. It's in Orlando, 13th to the 15th of March, or in California, 26th to 28th of March. They're the only two dates. They do it every year, those two places, just the leadership retreats, and they don't do it anywhere else. Although this year in Europe, they will be having one in October as well.
Which is the first ever
in
one. Europe.
So we'll see how that goes. But if you can, I would go to one of the Orlando or California one, because they're great. Okay.
And the European ones will get very good. We're just not sure how amazing the first one will be in Europe. That's why we're kind of recommending this one, if you can get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, loads of business tips.
Yeah, it's really good.
And inspiring stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We know the quality of that one's going to be great. So, business training before convention. There's a bit confusion about that. The 16th is just for elites and above. So this, you've got to qualify for elite by the end of April. If you do, then you can go to this day. And the reason is a bit more advanced training. So if you're just starting the business, you don't want to go to that one anyway.
Yeah.
And then you can go to the 17th if you're just starting the business, because that's for everybody. So that's more basic training, and it's a bit more advanced the day before. Okay, so the reason they've done it that way around is then people that are, you can, if you're building the business and you're elite and above, you're probably going to want to be in the one on the 17th anyway with some of your builders. But your builders aren't going to want to hang around the other day, so they switched it around. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we're working with leaders in America for this one as well. So it's going to be probably a 50-50 split of American leaders and European leaders. And we're probably going to have Blue Diamonds and above speaking. So it'll be experienced leaders, and there'll be lots of practical advice as well as some mindset as well, because that is a big part of the business, but lots of practical stuff. So
yeah, and we're helping to lead the panel on that with that as well. Also, I continue their classes this month. It's on the fourth Wednesday of the month, because we weren't around for the second Wednesday. But every other month after that, it will be on the second Wednesday of the month as per normal.
Yeah, so these are the ones that Emily and I are teaming up to do. The ones that we're making the PowerPoints available and the videos available. So we're doing these once a month. This one in January is going to be kind of an oils 101. So it's going to be designed to be like a follow-up class to an intro class. So something that you can teach people either live, so do a practical follow-up class with people, or do an online class for people that have already come to an intro class and just want a bit more information about the oils and practical uses of the oils and kind of tips like that. So it'll be a really good one. And then we haven't done our schedule yet for what we're going to be doing for the rest of the months, but it will be the second Wednesday of every month after that. Now, Becky, our upline, Nate's mum, is running another continued education course, which is also very, very good. And they're doing them weekly, and they'll have different speakers each week. So they're still going to be running as well.
And they're Monday nights, pretty much just before this call, like 7:30, 7:45. So the Sicily incentive trip, which is really exciting.
I've never been to Sicily, but always wanted to go.
Big yachts there.
Qualify.
So the incentive trip, it starts from the 1st of February and ends for the 31st of July. The way that you win points are for every order that's above 150 PV, you get 3 points. Simples. Then if they do an order of over 100 PV in month 2, you get an extra 2 points. If they do the order again on LRP in month 3, you get 3 points. And then in month 4, you get 4 points. So you can get a total of 12 points, okay, altogether for one person signing up. So that's what you're really looking to do. Is that's the most efficient way to do it. Now, most months, actually, I'll tell you that at the end. It's the top 100 accounts. So all other years, it's been the top 50. And there's been prizes in different order for the top 1 to the top 10, and then everyone else just gets to come. But they've made it so it's the top 100, and you can have 2 people come, share a room, and it's all just the same prize for all the top 100. So that's really cool that more people can come to this. So it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely worth going for, and this is a perfect time to kind of go for it. January is a bit of a kind of a preparation month, and so you do want to plan for this to get the most out of this and to try and get the points. Plan now, so do all your networking, get your classes set in, so you have perhaps 3 classes each month all kind of set up, or more, one-on-one. So now's the time to prepare for it, and it's a good kind of push before convention as well, which is always a good time to kind of push perhaps for a next rank if you're thinking of going for next rank. And the trips are amazing. Like doTERRA really treat you very well, and you get completely spoiled. There's always lovely accommodation, lovely food.
It's 5-star hotel.
5-star hotels, exactly. And you get to network with other people as well across Europe. And usually people that are working hard in doTERRA, so you get to pick up tips from each other, and
it's probably the most
really
beneficial thing is you get to mix network with people.
Yeah.
But it'd be great. So all meals are covered. The only thing that's not covered is flights to Sicily.
Yes.
Travel to Sicily. It's the incentive trip is from the 8th to the 11th. So book it in your diary if you're that way inclined that you're going to win it. And this is just a slide. They haven't actually. They announced it actually, and they didn't tell us not to tell you guys. So we already told you. But
we're not supposed to tell.
I think they officially announced it on the 1st of February.
Well, you've got a heads up.
So, got a heads up.
I'm sure
or I think Lisa announced it yesterday. Lisa Boone did, because we all announced it. So, and you're going to go see the new oil, Green Mandarin, in the distillery in Sicily. So that'll be really cool. And those are that's the same slide.
Yeah.
Okay. So recognition for last month. We had a great month. So
that's amazing.
Well done, everybody. Just want to recognise the top enrollers for last month. So we had Annabelle Fraser and Martina Prusa, who both did 10 enrolments each.
That's brilliant.
Well done. And I think it was both of their first month really of going for it. So that was really, really well done, guys.
That's really well done. 10's an amazing amount.
It is really good. Debbie Lawrence with 8. Vanessa with 7. Adele, who I don't think's not been on here ever. Well done, Adele. 7.
Elisa, it was her first month.
Elisa's first month, doing 7. Well done, Elisa. And Peter. I don't think Peter's not been on here either.
Yeah.
I think it's Peter's 20th year though of doing this. But well done, Peter. And probably never missed a month of being on the Top in Rollers either. Well done, guys. That's really well done. We've got some recognition. So I won't read out everyone's names. So apologies for that because there's so many. But these are the people that reached elite this month. So just want to give you a clap, round of applause. Well done, everybody there. And there's actually probably half of these people, it is their first month of doing doTERRA and they reached elite, which is fantastic. So well done,
brilliant. Everybody
there. But even if you've been doing it a year and now you reach elite, it's great because now you're starting to realise how to get it done, and it's the building block. It's not a race. And then silvers. We just want to congratulate all of our silvers. We've got April, Rebecca and Steve. Actually, I didn't put Steve on there. Apologies, Steve. Rebecca and Steve, Leslie and Craig, Saskia, Ali, Lindsay in America. So she's probably not on the call, but well done, Lindsay. And Cheryl. And Cheryl, congratulations to Cheryl. Cheryl's been with us pretty much since the beginning. So well done, Cheryl. And Linda Cook as well. And Linda's been with us for a long time as well. So well done, guys.
Brilliant.
And then big congratulations to some big ranks here. So we just want to congratulate Louise and Lindsay, who joined us at the beginning as well. Well done, guys, for hitting platinum. I knew that this is a great photo of Lindsay and Daniel at Christmas. Love Daniel's jumper there. It's great. Should have blown it up bigger. So, but well done, Louise and Lindsay and Daniel. And then we've got Melanie and Andrew and Sue. Congratulations on hitting platinum, guys. Andrew and Sue and Mel doing it in rapid speed.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Thanks for joining us on the journey.
That's brilliant.
Now we're going to turn time over to Louise, aren't we?
Yes. So we've just got Louise sharing some tips tonight from hitting platinum. So you there, Louise? Hello, you there, Louise? Maybe not. If not, maybe she's not. See her?
I didn't see her.
She said she was coming on. Okay. All right. Well, I'll carry on then, and then hopefully Louise will join us. She's going to share some tips with us. Do you want to maybe call her?
I'll give her a ring. Yeah.
Is that all right? And then, okay. So Louise will hopefully share some tips with us. I think it's nice to hear from other people as well. And I know we heard from a few of the leaders that hit rank last month, and I think it's really good to hear different ways of doing it. There's not one way of being successful in this business at all. So anyway, we've had a few people ask us about our journey to Presidential Diamond, and so I wanted to kind of share the exclusive story here. I've shared little tips with different people, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about our journey to Presidential Diamond, because I think, you know, for some of you it might seem like it's so far away and it's kind of impossible. You might not even have a goal of hitting Presidential Diamond, and that's absolutely okay. But I just wanted to share some of our tips and how we kind of got at the different stages. And hopefully this will inspire some of you and make you feel more that you can do this, because you really can. So some of you may have heard parts of this, but you know, when we first started, well, Nathan wasn't really into it, as I think you mostly are aware. And, you know, when I looked at the Presidential Diamond ranking system, it just seemed so far away, and not really that realistic. And to be honest, at the beginning, when I started, I was going to be really happy with £200 a month. You know, that's what I had my eyes set on immediately, because that would be a life changer for us at the beginning when we really were struggling financially. But I did have in my mind, gosh, what if, you know, just was there, just hanging in my mind, this like dream almost of what Presidential Diamond could do. But I almost didn't dare to focus on it too much at that point, and just like had my blinkers on for £200 a month. And that's kind of what I strived for. And then, is she coming on?
Her internet's down.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So she'll keep trying, but maybe not.
Okay, fine. So then I went to the US convention, and this completely changed my way of thinking, will really enhance my belief that I could do this. And this is why I think it's so important to go to events, because you just get to see the people that are succeeding. And as I put up here, you know, when I first saw the Presidential Diamond rank, I thought, gosh, you know, okay, that's there, but I think only a handful of people must achieve this. Like, it just seems impossible, and you must have to be really an incredible person, so dynamic, with so many business skills, or like a huge network, you know, into health. And these weren't things that we particularly had. And so I just thought, oh, yeah, it was like almost a dream, as I said. But going to the US convention, I saw so many people that had made these successful ranks that, you know, were just normal people. And there was this one couple in particular, you know, lovely couple, but just so normal, put it in a really nice way.
That's way politer than you said to me.
But I just looked at them, and they were blue diamonds at the time, and they were speaking to everybody, and, you know, you could hardly really hear what they were saying. They weren't particularly dynamic, but lovely. And they hadn't had business experience. They were just sharing a bit about their journey. And I thought, oh my goodness, if they can do this, surely I can do it. And I started daring to hope, if you like. I just started thinking that seed of possibility had been planted in my mind. And I thought, gosh, I can do this. I don't know how I can do this, but, you know, if I want it, then I think I can do this. I can duplicate them, because they were very duplicable people, which was quite inspiring for me. So I came home, and that's when I had a reviewed kind of ambition and to get to gold. So we've had kind of initial goals along the way. So it wasn't always Presidential Diamond, although of course that was the dream at the end. So first of all, it was gold. And at this time, there were founder positions left in the UK. Not tons, but there were some left.
Not UK, in Europe.
How many? Oh, in Europe, yeah, sorry.
There's
Europe.
Loads left in UK.
Yeah, there's loads left in the UK. So this could be you. You could be sitting at Elite, which is where we were sitting when we came back from the American convention. And I knew there were some positions open for Europe founder. I think, how many? Maybe
Like
eight or something like that left. And we were quite far off, and we weren't going that quickly at the beginning. And people generally in UK that we knew were not moving very quickly. So it seemed like it was a long process, you know. So it seemed a long way off to get to gold. But I had it in my head, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get to gold founder. And so these are kind of the key things I did initially to try and get to gold. And then obviously bringing Nathan on was a key part of it.
Why is that not down there?
I don't, well, it doesn't need to be said. It doesn't need to be said, baby. Everyone knows it. So I'm just going to say it. But basically, at the beginning, I knew I needed to practice my skills. So the basic skills. So I knew what I was good at, but I knew what I wasn't so good at. So it was practicing those basic skills and just by doing them. So nothing special, just literally getting out there, networking, doing all the ideas that we had, and some didn't work out, but others did work out.
Some were pretty rubbish, but they all kind of accumulated to help us build our network and just expand our network. And it was quite gradual at first. And then what happens is if you put in this work, it just starts snowballing and you start picking up momentum.
And that's kind of what happened with us. And then getting better at sampling, because I was a bit nervous about that at the beginning, but literally because I had that goal in my head and I knew there was a deadline, because there was a bit of a race then to get to founder, I just knew I had to push myself through it. So I just kept doing it, just keep repeating these basic skills, and then you inevitably get better and more confident, until it becomes something that's just quite natural. And then teaching the class, closing the class. So just practicing those basic skills. That's what I would say at the early ranks. It's just about practice and getting better at the things that you're not so natural at. And then for me, having affirmations was really, really important for me. And there's many ways of doing this. You can have a sign up, so you see gold, and on the sign, or I would just tell myself that I was gold pretty much every day, and that I was the Europe founder, sorry. And so my subconscious started believing that, and I think that really helped. Nathan's smiling because he finds that funny. So it's not everyone's thing. I
think it's great, baby. It's done exactly what you needed to do.
It did help. It really did help. It helped to lift me every day. Because, you wake up in the morning, don't you, sometimes? And it's like, whew. Sometimes you wake up and you're like, yes.
I did hear you in the bathroom doing it.
I tried to whisper it.
And I was laughing when you did it, but I was like, oh, that's cute. But it worked, didn't it, obviously?
It did. It put me in the right mindset. So when I woke up, because I used to go to bed quite buzzy about it all, and thinking, yes, I can do this. And then it was almost like every morning when I woke up, not every morning, but quite a few mornings when I woke up, it felt like I was starting again. That mindset wasn't always there. That belief wasn't always there. And so stating that I was gold just helped to lift me and helped to start the day on a belief that I could be gold, basically.
I do actually believe in it, but I just think it's funny.
You do it secretly, don't you?
I don't know about secretly, but I don't actually do it. But
let me do it.
I think it's good. Yeah, clearing you. Yeah, yeah.
And then what we both kind of have realised a lot, generally, we've noticed this with ourselves, but also with others that have moved quite quickly, is that entrepreneurial mindset. This is so important, especially at these early ranks when, let's face it, you're not earning tons of money, and at the really early ranks, you're not even covering your oils perhaps. And so going out there and spending your 20 hours, if that's what you do have, or 10 hours, whatever amount of time you have, can be hard and can be disheartening, especially if you do this over time and you're not reaping the benefits immediately. That is the fact of this business. Let's just put it out there. Some people do go quickly and you'll get to see the benefits and rewards quickly. That wasn't such the case for us. I mean, we did cover our oils pretty quickly after a couple of months, 3 months, I think it was. But then it was quite a slow plod to premiere, in that year. And so we weren't getting the immediate benefits from this. But that never really concerned us. We always had the entrepreneurial mindset. We were very happy to invest. Obviously, we didn't have tons of money to invest, but we would invest. We were careful with our money, but we knew we were investing in the future. And working for what seemed like nothing at the time was fine, because I just knew we were going to get there. And so I think that's really important, is to have that mindset when you're working and doing those hours, that every hour you're working, act as if you are getting that diamond paycheck, because that's what you inevitably are going to get if that's what your goal is, or work out kind of what your goal is and what you'd be earning for that. But we did it on the diamond basis. So say, you're earning £6,000 a month as a start of diamond. So if you are doing your 20 hours a week, which is a lot, and lots of people aren't doing 20, but every hour you're working, you're actually investing in your future, which is going to be £75 an hour. So that's kind of what your time is now. So even if you're working on something and it doesn't feel like it's getting you anywhere, you're going to get paid £75 an hour for that time. And so it's so worth that investment. And so, yeah, do you have anything to add? to that?
Well, I'd just say like the entrepreneurial mindset is very important. It's, you know, moving from where most people are at, you know, 90% of the population are at 9 till 5 mindset, getting paid for their time. Moving to an entrepreneurial one is quite tricky. But once you get into the mode of an entrepreneurial mindset, is, you know, for the first year or two or 3 or 4 years in all businesses, you are not going to be paid very much or very little in everything that you do. Okay. So Terra, actually, you start getting paid much quicker than most other businesses, and you can get, if you put your time into it, like if you put the time into it that people that found a business do, which would be, you know, people that found businesses, they're putting in 100, 120 hours a week to make that business successful for that first 2 years, having to put in 200 grand, you know, or 50 grand or whatever it is to get that business going. So Terry, you don't need any of that, or very little bit, but very little of that, and you can earn more much quicker. It's an amazing business model, much quicker. So, but having that entrepreneurial mindset that, you know, you're not going to get the money straight away is key.
It is. And if you don't, you know, you can still make it, but we've seen it. It's a slower process generally because people are holding back quite a lot. Whereas if you let go and have that mindset, you'll grow a lot more quickly. And
that's going to as far as you can go, really. But, you know, lots of people might just want to cover their oils or just earn £300 or £400 a month to supplement their income, and that's very easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this kind of stage, just so you know, we were enrolling about 6 to 10 people a month. And then towards the end, when we were just hitting gold, we did a couple of months of 20. But that was all an accumulation of all the activity we'd done for that year. So, you know, all these activities, every little activity you do, it builds and builds, and you start getting this big network that just seems like it comes from nowhere, but actually it's the accumulation of what you've been doing. And suddenly you have this bigger pool of people, and you can then start enrolling bigger numbers.
It's this show here, this Facebook event here, this
hosted
class here, or 5 hosted classes there, and somebody that hasn't spoke to you for a year says, I've got a bad verruca. Have you got anything? All that works, and then it just starts to grow from there.
Yeah. So when we shifted then to Diamond, this is where the shift happens a lot more, focusing on your leaders. Of course, you are focusing on your leaders up to gold as well. If you've got leaders, sometimes you perhaps don't. It's always better to have good leaders to go on this journey with you. But also up to gold, a lot of it is you. You're going to be enrolling quite a lot of people. But we kind of thought, you know, the key to get from gold to kind of your next higher ranks, for those of you that are there, or those of you that are thinking you want to get there, it's a bit more of a shift. And there's kind of 3 key things that you want to be doing simultaneously. And that is, you want to be engaging your leaders then. So really kind of working with them, making it about them as well. So, you know, it's not all about you. You know, you never call people up and say, hey, I want to go for this rank this month, so you need to do this so that I can be this. You know, that's just not the doTERRA culture, and a suggestion that we would suggest definitely not doing. You know, you want to inspire people and to catch the vision for themselves and help them get to their goals. So then it becomes this lovely kind of teamwork where you're both motivating each other, inspiring each other, and you're working together. And that's where you get real momentum for these bigger ranks. And I would say here that, you know, you might have leaders on your team that have gone for it perhaps in the past, but maybe you're taking a break now, which is fine. Or people that, you know, you thought were going to be wanting to do the business, but perhaps they're not now, and you feel like you might be dragging them a bit. If you find yourself in that situation, our advice is to match their energy. So, you know, you can pull people for a while and hope that might help to inspire them. But actually it kind of backfires because they're feeling, you know, dragged into something they don't particularly want to do. And it's also a lot harder work for you, and it's quite draining. And then you can't focus on finding other leaders that really want it themselves. So I think this is the key part, is to match the energy of your team and be real with who you've got working with. And yeah, go and find other people if you haven't got the business leaders that want to join you on your journey. So I'd say.
Not on that one, no.
And then commit together. So, you know, it's always good to have a commitment together, because as human beings, we generally, you know, can get inspired one moment and then, you know, it's hard to keep going. To kind of find that commitment together, and that helps as well. So at this kind of phase, we were, because the momentum was going, so when we built up this momentum to gold, and this momentum kind of continued, and so we were rolling about 10 to 20 people a month, and it was quite a short period that we got from gold to diamond. So it was a high, we were enrolling lots. So we were kind of doing these three key things at the bottom. We were engaging our leaders, and they were going for it at this point. We were enrolling as well, so we weren't just letting our leaders do all the work. We were taking responsibility ourselves and still, you know, enrolling and taking that, you know, power upon ourselves to get us where we wanted to go as well.
As well as lifting.
And yeah, exactly.
Some of our team, not necessarily everyone, because some people are already there, but some of them you lift as well as you move up ranks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is the loyalty rewards program, getting people onto LRP, key, and makes your life so much easier. It's so much harder to enroll every month your whole team again and again and again. Whereas if you enroll and get people onto LRP, then when you enroll, all you're doing is adding to an existing customer database, and that's when you start to get bigger and bigger in the ranks.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that balance, isn't it, between finding and spending time on that wellness consultation and those 3 months of contact. So, you know, after your wellness consultation, having a call with that new customer the month after and the month after. And we found that really helps with the loyalty rewards program, to getting them to be fully involved in the products, rather than just leaving them and being on this mass enrolling kind of production thing. As Nay said, it's a balance between both.
Yeah.
So just quickly then, our decision to become Presidential Diamond, because it kind of was a decision. We didn't know it was going to happen, of course.
Does everyone know what Presidential Diamond is on there?
I don't know. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're completely new, and actually we have got at least one completely new person. So Presidential Diamond is kind of the final rank of doTERRA. So it's where you have 6 leaders on your front line, and they have leaders underneath them.
Yeah, the six leaders are basically platinum and above for there. It's the top of the pay plan, really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so you can go further than that. You can become double presidential, but presidentials are definitely a nice place to kind of be. So in November, anyway, we were way off. So just to kind of perhaps give you, so if you're way off a rank, so say you could be executive and you're feeling way off elite, or you're elite and you're feeling like Premier's not a possibility.
Well, elites, a lot of times you can feel like 1,000 PV.
Yeah,
it's massive
that is,
to get.
Yeah.
And that can be
huge. Exactly. So it's kind of, for us, it was a thought just came into, I guess, my head to begin with, wasn't it? It's like, gosh, do you know what? I wonder if we could do Presidential Diamond in December. And so I go to my strategic numbers guy and plant the seed. Nathan was like, I don't think so.
I thought it was impossible, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It was way far away. I think it was like, when I ran the numbers, it was like 60,000 PV away. If we tried to do it, roughly, give or take. But Beck seemed like she was up for it. So yeah, I crunched the numbers and said, well, we need to enroll this many people, and we need to get our team involved if they want to do it. And so we realised it was possible, but
a big stretch,
a massive undertaking.
Yes. So yes, when we realised it was possible, we thought, well, let's do a strategy, and that's what they said. We saw how many people. So we thought, if our leaders are kind of gonna go for it a little bit, but not really tons, because again, you can't put your goals onto your leaders. Then we were thinking, right, well, we personally need to enrol 100 people in a month, which we've never done before, ever. Not even close
Not
to
even
that.
close. I think the most is 30.
Yeah, maybe. Probably just under 30, wasn't it? And that was after a big show, and we had no big shows coming up at all.
No.
But we set this high goal, and we wanted it, and we thought, do you know what, we're committed. We're going to work our butts off. We're going to do everything we can. And so we looked at all the ways, all the different plans that we could do to help bring that 100 enrollments down, to make it a little bit more realistic. And we did.
The key one for me was going into the bathroom and saying, I've done 100 enrollments, and it just happened.
Affirmations.
The affirmations.
Oh, I knew it.
Worked for me.
I knew you, believer. There we go. That was it. The end.
That's bad knocking, isn't it? Sorry, baby. But because it actually does work, didn't it?
So we thought, well, we can call existing customers. That's one of the strategies we had, and people who haven't, ordered for a while, and just do customer services calls, and just tell them about the frankincense deal. So it was thinking of that kind of idea. We also had, at this time we'd had built up contacts. So if you've been doing the business for a while, you can go back to those contacts that perhaps came to a class and didn't enroll. And we sent emails to all of them saying that, if you've been waiting to enroll, now is the time to do it with the wonderful frankincense deal. We also went through our contacts who had, ticked our feedback forms. We've kept quite a few of them, not perhaps every one of them. But we went through there and saw who had ticked hosted classes that we hadn't been able to, follow up with earlier, and contacted them and got quite a few hosted classes booked in.
And we knew a couple of bloggers, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We hadn't actually done anything with yet, and so we contacted the bloggers and said, would you, put out our email for an online class?
Yeah, and we didn't get tons back from that, did we? So that was one of the things. We did all these activities, and we didn't get tons from the bloggers.
Not the bloggers one. We did get quite a lot from an email campaign. Yeah.
So we did an email campaign with some other contacts we'd built up from like shows and things, and invited them to come to an online class.
That was a much simpler email, so I think that was better.
Yeah, we did a very kind of basic email. Just click here for a sample, and then click here if you want to come to an online class. And that was really good. So basically our point is, Presidential Diamond was not a done deal by any means. It was a stretch. We were, willing to sacrifice. We were willing to put in the hard work. We wanted it. We saw the vision. We were committed. And then we put in the plans. And we, did things we hadn't done before, but looked at all the different ways, everything we could do, as well as enrolling our leaders and helping them to feel inspired and get the vision as well, wasn't it?
And gave up Christmas.
And gave up Christmas. Yeah, pretty much. Father Christmas wasn't going to come. He just came at the last minute. It was very last minute.
He did come.
So it does take sacrifice. And, we probably got to Presidential Diamond before, well, we definitely did before, if we'd have not done it as such a push, like it definitely was a push. December was a push. We did do a huge amount of enrolling. It can be a lot calmer process, and you don't have to sacrifice that much if you want to go more slowly. And so that's the point. There's not one way of doing this. We just wanted to share with you guys what we decided to do and how we got there. But that's not the only way. And obviously there's the key activities, and depending on how much you want something and how much you're willing to sacrifice, and how much time you have as well, and it's got to fit into your life, and it's flexible. That's what doTERRA is. It's flexible, but it's possible to kind of get what you want with doTERRA, whatever you want. So whether you do just want to pay for your oils, then set that as a goal, commit to it, see the vision of it, do your affirmations in the bathroom, if that's your thing, but put a plan together and just get out and do it. Just do these activities, and some will work, some won't, but you will reach your goal. You really will. And if your goal is bigger than that, then flip and go and make it happen. Picture it. And January is a great time to set your goals. So set your intention for this year, what you want to achieve by the end of the year, and then break that down. and go for it and make it happen, and think outside the box. Talk to your uplines about different ideas. It's been lovely. We've been having chats with quite a few of you, and a particular couple came into the business and they didn't have a network at all in the health, in arena, if you like. People that weren't coming to classes particularly or signing up, but they're kind of making it happen. They've got this network now. They've got these classes booked in, monthly classes in an area where there's lots of people interested in natural health. And, they've created that from kind of nothing. So you can, if you don't have a network, you can create it. And if there's something else that's, the block, then you can get over that too. It's just a matter of wanting it and then setting a plan and just executing it.
Doing what it takes to get it done.
Exactly.
And you'll have, there were days when I was like to Rebecca, pretty sure it's not going to happen, babe. We are so far away. Pretty sure it's not going to happen. I was like, that's happened 15 times every other day. So
in December it did, and for us it was a short period. We just didn't give up. It was a short period, so it's easier to keep going in that short period, isn't it? But we've had that the whole way through our business. The amount of times I've doubted myself personally, or doubted that we're going to get there, but I always confronted those doubts and then pictured that couple I saw in America. So there'll be something that you'll see, you'll either hear it from someone, you'll see it, just have something that comes in your mind that can then make you believe, I can do this. That's a ridiculous thought. That thought is not true. I can do this. And you will, we're completely normal people. We have worked hard.
Not quite normal.
Worked hard.
Brilliant.
That's worked hard, and you'll have your ups and down times. And we did in December as well. We had the days where we were just like, oh my goodness, what the freak we decided to do. That'd be crazy. And this is how we felt the day after. So this is the morning, the 1st of January. I don't think Nathan had got any sleep that night. I went to bed. Nathan was doing the final kind of just numbers. That's your part. But we got it, and it felt amazing. Not on the first day.
This feels great, guys.
Firstly, you could be like
copy
that.
This is what it feels like.
But now it's sinking in. It's great. It's a sense of achievement, and you get to create the lifestyle you want. And then go from there. So that was our call tonight. We just wanted to give you a private viewing of our experience. We did want to have Louise come on as well, but Louise obviously hasn't. I don't know if Louise is there.
No, she's not.
She hasn't been able to make it. Okay, so that's a shame. So we'll have some more leaders throughout the month sharing some of their tips as well, because I think it's so important to hear from each other, and we really value.
Did you want me to quickly show?
Oh yes, you wanted to show? Yeah, quickly show them, or not quickly, whatever. Yeah, I've got it there for you.
Already.
We just wanted to show you. I know some of you have seen this already, but some of you are probably really into numbers. The back office kind of graph of our growth, so you can kind of see how it was a steady growth to begin with. And that is inspiring too, because you just, keep those enrollments, just keep trying to enroll, a couple of people a month even, and just it will gradually increase. And you get one on LRP, and that helps to increase it. And you can just see our growth. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see if there's any chat? Because I can.
I'm just going to open it up here.
Okay.
What I mean by growth is in growth in terms of the money coming in. That's obviously the bottom line, isn't it? So,
yeah, if you're looking at the business side.
So this is us going through from the beginning. You can see we're there at 0. You can see it. Slowly going up in the first year, to 1,000, 1,200. Then we go up to when we hit diamond to about 5,000. We drop diamond for a month, and then we go up, and then it just slowly goes up while we stay at diamond. Then we hit Blue Diamond, and this is Blue Diamond. And that's,
Why did we drop them?
but that's because there was Blue Diamond share, we didn't have a Blue Diamond share. So,
No.
And
I
then,
don't look at this very much.
have you ever looked at it?
Yeah.
And then Presidential Diamond's not on there at the moment, so Presidential Diamond will be, I'm hoping, up here
Yeah, we
somewhere,
don't know yet.
somewhere off the chart. So yeah, that's our growth.
So it's just quite cool to see because it's quite steady at the beginning, and then we peak, and then we go down a month, which often happens this time of year generally. So please don't feel disheartened if you're not looking like you're going to hit the rank you did in December for this month.
Oh no, not at all.
It's quite normal.
We'll definitely drop.
We will definitely.
We
drop.
won't hit Presidential Diamond. I was like preparing Rebecca to be Diamond again. Oh, Diamond. But yeah, so you know, it is very normal to drop a rank for a month or two, and then just work on getting it back up. And then when you hit it 2 months in a row, generally you should stick at that rank, and then hit the next rank, and you'll probably drop again, and then move up again, and that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. And just to end, because even though we had this ambition to get to Presidential Diamond, and that was a big focus for us, also for us in December, and I definitely consciously reminded myself why I'm doing doTERRA and what the big picture is for me, and that is to help people. You know, it is, I believe in these oils. Fundamentally, the reason why I can do this business and the reason why I love doing this business is because every time I teach a class or share an oil with somebody, I know I'm sharing something that works, something that's going to enhance their life, and it's such a positive thing for them. And so, because when you have big goals to like rank that next month, it can be hard to lose that focus, and that never really works. It's never worked for me. As soon as I start getting too focused on the business side of it, then I don't do as well. I really don't. And so even though I had that goal, my bigger goal was always to share these oils. So every person I was sharing them with, every class I was trying to get someone to host, was because I also wanted to share these oils. Yes, I was doing more classes than I would have perhaps done otherwise, but every class, it was the people were what mattered, the individuals. And what it did to me actually was I was much more vigilant in my sampling process. So for example, before a hosted class, I ticked all the boxes, which you know, sometimes you don't have time to do, but I really made sure that I at least made contact with every single person that was going to be coming to a class, especially with my hosted classes where I didn't have that personal relationship. Mm-hmm. I would, you know, get the information from the host and say how important it was that I have this information, so I can just you know, check in with these guests and make this class more relevant to them. And so it's really making it about them. So when I contacted them, it was, yes, to find out if they'd, you know, received the sample and had they used it, but also to find out what they wanted to have me cover in the class. So if I was doing an online class or a live class, I wanted to find out what these people were interested in and what they wanted to come to the class and find out. And I really found that made such a difference, because people, honestly, like everyone I spoke to was like, oh, thank you so much. That's so lovely of you to call. You know, they didn't feel pestered. And those I didn't manage to reach on the phone, I left a voicemail and just sent them a text. And I got replies, I think, from 90% of the people, you know, saying, oh, thank you so much for your text. And they would tell me about their sample. But then they would say, yes, I'm interested in learning about this and this at the class. And pretty much most times it was things I was going to cover anyway. But it really made people feel listened to, and they were really invested in coming. And so, you know, we had a really good turnout for all of our live, but also online classes, which is often where you can fall short, where people don't turn up to the class. And then for our online classes, we made sure we did a follow-up call with everybody on that call. And we said it in the online class that we were going to do that. They didn't feel like we were chasing them up. But again, just to kind of, you know, answer any questions they might have. And if I didn't get through to them, I would just send a text. And again, you know, about 90%, maybe slightly less, got back to me. And, you know, even if they didn't want to order anything, they might have had a question, and I wanted them to feel like they could ask me that. And so it felt good. You know, I didn't feel like we were just focused on the business. It felt like we were helping people, you know, along the way, and that is what inevitably makes me feel good.
Well, there was also there was probably like 5 or 6 people that wanted to join us from like sign up. They've been signed up by some other people, and that's not the doTERRA way. But when you like really need those sign-ups, we need 50 sign-ups or whatever it was we were doing, you can feel like, I need those sign-ups, and they want to come over. It's realising the bigger picture that no, that's not the doTERRA way, and we don't go to rank at any costs.
No,
you know, we can rank despite those things. We are going to come across those people, and a lot of those people might even be on people in our downline that we don't even know. Imagine taking them from our downline and putting them somewhere else. That'd be horrible. So we just won't do that, and that feels good.
Absolutely. So to keep your integrity always,
even though it's hard, and you know, you think those last 6 sign-ups that would have pushed us to Presidential Diamond, got one day to find
when it was looking very iffy. We even worked Christmas Day. Well, Nathan did, I didn't so much. You were working Christmas Day, weren't you?
I need to admit that.
I took that day off.
But just to say something, Rebecca did, and this isn't I'm kind of bragging about Rebecca. She signed up 46 people on Home Essential Kits last month. I mean, that is insane.
But doable.
And it was because she had a plan, or we had a plan together, and it was executed to go and do it. And that's all it was. It wasn't that we're special or different than any of you. It's, we just had a plan and went about and did the plan.
Yes.
So, and we tell you these. We hope you don't feel like this is bragging at all.
No,
we're very conscious of that. We don't want to do that at all. But we just want to share with you so that it can maybe inspire you, or just show you that you can do this as well. This is not. It's just part of a journey that we want to share with you so that you can do it.
Exactly. So we won't be this open with other, when we do.
No.
So this is like a personal.
You definitely get more for our team than we would ever share. So if you've got questions, do you want to stop the recording and then we can...
Yes, if anyone's got any questions.
Ask any questions.